So you're looking to build a brand new PC and you want to go all out with the case, or maybe you want a decent case and don't want to spend a whole lot of money. Raijintek has you covered with the Ponos TG case. Come over here real quick as we do the unboxing and I'll show you exactly what you can expect from it. Don't forget to click like, subscribe, and the little bell notification. That way you know when I come out with videos just like this and the next video coming up on how to build inside of the Raijintek Ponos TG. That's right, my friends. In this video, we're going to be doing an unboxing and a brief overview of the Raijintek Ponos TG case. This is a more of a budget build case, sub $100, that actually features tempered glass side panels. So then after this video, we're going to be doing a build video. That way I can teach you guys how to build a PC inside of this case as well. But anyway, let's get started. And as I bring out pieces, I'm going to zoom in a little bit closer so you guys can check them out. Case feels nice and sturdy so far. All right, so come over here real quick and let's get a little closer. Okay, so then along here we can see the tempered glass side panel. Glass, caution! All right, and then of course there is some of this guy, and hopefully it's gonna make some sound as I peel it off, but we'll get back to that in a minute. Held on there by 4 thumb screws along the front, and also to add as a mesh kind of filter. You can see right over here. Okay, and then lined with what feels like ABS plastic. Along the back, a solid side panel, then some holes over here for some additional cooling to let some air in. Also held up with thumb screws. Along the back, we can see it does come with a single 120mm fan. We can see some opening over here also for some air. And then we can see 7 PCI slots for expansion. Odd that these 3 are different than these 4, but either which way. And then down here we have for the power supply. All right, so let's go ahead, open this up. Let's see if we can get a good sound out of it. You put the microphone near it. That was nice, right? All right, so let's go ahead and take off these thumb screws. Nice tempered glass there. And then one thing to note real quickly, down here where you would put the power supply, of course, inside of the power supply shroud, you can see they have a cutout. That way you can always know, in case you might forget, you know, a few months after you build the machine, what power supply you have, or if somebody builds it for you, you can always take off the side panel and see the sticker right here on the side of the power supply. I like that they're starting to do this. It's pretty cool. Okay, so then we can see the inside of the case here. You'll notice along here, you can either fit 3 120 or 2 140mm fans. Along the rear of the case, again, it comes with a 120mm fan. Of course, you can swap that fan out. Right over here, as I showed you before, where those holes were on the rear side panel, you can actually put 2 120mm fans. Actually, that's a nice option that I haven't seen before. Also, the tray, the motherboard tray, will support EEB, eATX, ATX, micro ATX, and mini ITX motherboards. As you can see, there are already standoffs here, 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 and here for ATX motherboards. Now, just make sure, even though it does come with a standard ATX, make sure when you put a motherboard in here that you screw in 9 screws. If you only screw in 8, make sure there isn't a standoff where that may be, because you might short out your board, but that's the same thing for any case. So along the back, we'll go ahead and take off the side panel. Okay, so coming down here, I'll remove this, but you can see there are two trays for hard drives, 3.5-inch hard drives or 2.5-inch SSDs. Another nice thing about this case, you can see right over here, it does have 2 feet, keeping the case a little bit higher so that when you have your power supply here, it has more room to breathe. Okay, and then opening this up, see, we have your standard set of screws as well as zip ties. Let's see. See here, 10 zip ties. As well as a ton of other screws, which we will go into more detail. All right, you can see here the assortment of screws that come or that came in this little bag and accessories box. You can see here some, which is actually nice to see, some liquid cooling screws right over here, some standoffs, what look like case screws or thumb screws for the side panels, and these screws for mounting your mechanical hard drives, your 3.5-inch drives, or your SSDs. A little piece of rubber right over there is to keep it from vibrating, causing additional noise inside of your case. Obviously with an SSD you're not going to have that issue, but of course you will with either 2.5-inch mechanical drives or 3.5-inch mechanical drives. All right, so let's explore the case a little bit more. As I already shown you, you can fit 2 2.5-inch or 2 3.5-inch, and of course anything in between that drives right down here. You can also fit either one of those 2 drives here, so a 3.5-inch or a 2.5-inch drive, utilizing those same screws that have the rubber on the inside. And then you can fit 2 additional drives here. So it gives you up to 5 drives that you can install in this machine. That's a nice little feature there. Now this will support video cards up to 15.35 inches and CPU cooler heights of up to 6.5 inches or 165 millimeters. Like with most, we have a cutout right over here where we can, plug in a CPU heatsink backplate or a liquid cooling backplate. Okay, and then along the bottom, we can see we have a dust filter here as well. It is removable, so we could just take it out and wash it. After we dry it thoroughly, just pop it back in, and we're good to go. As I mentioned before, it does have these feet as well. So again, that elevates the case a little bit more, just so that your power supply can suck in a little bit more cool air. So along the front, we have another filter right up here. Just pop it back together. And then let me take you along the top. Along the top, we also have this mesh magnetic filter, which we can remove, of course. Up here, we can fit 3 120 millimeter fans or 2 140 millimeter fans. Along the top as well, we can fit a 120, a 140, or a 280 millimeter radiator. All right, so along the top of the case, we can also see 2 USB 2.0 ports, along with a microphone and headphone jack. Over here, we can see a USB 3.0 port, the reset button, and the power button as well. Replacing the 120 millimeter fan We can also put another 120 millimeter radiator. Then along the front, we can add a 120, a 140, a 280, or a 360 millimeter radiator. Coming down a little bit, we can fit over here on the motherboard tray, we can fit either two 120 millimeter fans, which is pretty nice, or we can fit a 120 or a 240 millimeter radiator with an up to 30 millimeter thickness. Now, the CPU cooler height you can fit in here is up to 165 millimeters or 6.5 inches. The graphics card or video card length can be up to 390 millimeters or 15.35 inches. The case itself weighs 14.77 pounds or 6.7 kilograms. Again, in my next video, I'm going to be doing a build showing you guys how to build inside of this case. So now before we end, I'm just going to take you on a little tour inside of the case so you can get a much more close and personal feel of the case. All right, my friends, so that's about it for right now. Again, we were just doing a simple unboxing and overview of the Raijintek Ponos TG case. More coming soon. Iggy out. See you guys.